Well, a very good evening and welcome back to this week's Your Manchester. I am flying solo this week as Michelle has decided to take a little sabbatical. Nevertheless though, that doesn't inhibit you clicking on that button there and subscribing to that thing there. Make sure you stick around, we've got a fantastic episode this week of Your Manchester. Well, now we are about to speak to two of the stars of this marvellous and hilarious musical, Club Tropicana. We're going to speak to Kate Robbins and the gorgeous Kane Verrill. Let's see what they have to say about this wonderful show. Well, we are here. I'm feeling very, very privileged to meet two of these gorgeous people from the wonderful musical Club Tropicana. How are you?
We're fine.
Kate Robbins.
Not as gorgeous as you.
Well, it's daytime. I've not actually had a shave yet, but it's the taking part.
I feel slightly underdressed, don't you, Kane?
I do. I love the jacket.
When all else fails, the scarf works, doesn't it? It does. What a marvellous show.
Oh, thanks. This is Kane by
Kane Verrill.
Yeah, lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
Kane plays the part of Blaine, which is quite easy to remember.
And Kate plays our fabulous Consuelo.
I'm Consuelo. It's just a great show, isn't it? We're very...
we didn't even recognise you when you first came on.
Good, because I look horrible, don't I?
It's a transformation and a half, isn't it?
Oh, well, she's a grumpy old Spanish, cleaning lady to talk like this, But, yeah, I mean, I just get to do lots of impressions, which is nice. And we get to sing Making Your Mind Up, don't we, Kane?
We do. We sing it together.
And we have a little turn on that, a little twist on the story of the stripping off bit,
A very pleasant twist I might just add as well. Thank you for that.
No, thank you.
From us all for that, yes.
Some lovely underwear on display there. But yeah, come and see it. And
your costumes are just everything.
Well, I have 8 changes. It's all right for you. How many do you have? You have quite a lot.
I think I have 6.
Oh.
I'm less than you.
Oh, he's nearly creeping up. Because you play a Spanish dancer at one point, don't you?
I do. A Spanish dancer. We've got some leather in there as well. There's something for everyone.
It's very camp.
It is very camp.
But it's, do you know what? It's just a little antidote to all the Trump and Brexit stuff that's going on. If you want just a good night out and a good laugh. It's a 80s songs with, I think, probably 80s humour as well.
Oh, lots of 80s humour. But
when I did my review for it, I said it was like watching a sitcom from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's got all of that in it, hasn't it?
Yeah. So was that you?
That was me.
I did read that, yes.
It's got everything going inside it, hasn't it?
Yes, it's got, I mean, we're not particularly politically correct, but we're not politically incorrect either. And as I say, we have a little twist on things. And, we don't objectify women in it. If anything, we objectify men.
We get to hear you sing as well.
Yes.
Which
well, I
is
am a
always
singer.
A treat.
Well, thank you. I mean, I started off as a pianist many years ago, and then I was a singer, and then I was an actress and comedian. But I've gone back to my first love, really.
It seems like an ideal role for you, though, because you get to do impressions, you get to do your comedy, you get to
Yeah, I sort of talked the producers into letting me do all the impressions that I like doing, which helps.
Bit of Margaret Thatcher in there never goes wrong, does it?
Oh, and a bit of Scylla, of course. Tina Turner. Tina Turner always goes down well. But I had to choose, obviously, the singers of the 80s, and Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
Who else do I do? Shirley Bassey. Oh, and Jim Bowen. I can't beat a bit of bully.
I really hope people come and watch this because it's just manic. I think that's the only word for it. It is manic non-stop as well, isn't it?
It's very manic, yeah.
It is. It's high energy throughout the whole show, and then at the end there's a massive mega mix that everyone can join in with, which I think is great, and everybody leaves feeling on such a high. And
well, I think before you get into the first 10 minutes, you're already up on your feet learning a party dance, aren't you?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Joe gets the crowd warmed up.
He does. And we also have people like Emily Tierney, who's, West End, brilliant actress who was in Wicked and many other productions. And Neil McDermott, who's in EastEnders, and he's just a great actor. And of course, Amel Berrabah, who was one of the Sugar Babes. And this is her first acting role. I know she's done pantomime, but she's not.
And she's fab, and
she's
it's
her first acting role, and such a lovely voice. Obviously she sings beautifully. So yeah, it's a great cast.
It is, and right at the very end, without giving anything away, it does give a little nod to what could possibly be the future for the LGBT community, doesn't it?
It does absolutely. There's a little nod between my character and Joe's of, like you say, as to what could happen. And I guess if there was a Club Tropicana 2, maybe it would be their marvellous marriage. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, it could be a TV programme, couldn't it?
Well, I suppose so. Yeah, you should get working on it.
I should.
Send in your précis of it. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite part within the show that you like doing?
I think I probably like doing Dolly Parton because for once my own breasts aren't big enough, and I have to wear padded ones out here, which is very good fun.
Do you have a favourite part?
I think mine is towards the very end, the song "Relax," which Joe does. It's the bows for the rest of us, and then going into the mega mix. But I just think that song is so good.
Yeah, Relax.
Joe sings it so well, and the choreography is amazing from all of our ensemble. It's great.
Nick Winston, the director and choreographer. There's another director as well called Sam, but I've talked about him, Sam Holmes. But Nick Winston is very well known. I mean, he's just, he's got Annie on, he's got Fame, he's got everything on. And he's just brilliant, and he gets the humour of it, and his dance, his choreography is very 80s, isn't it? It's very 80s kind of movements.
I think him with Sam Holmes as well, bringing those comedy elements have really made this show something great, which is fab.
Yeah. So 3 words to sum up why people should come and watch this show.
Ooh.
Party.
Fun. Dance and sing, that's 4, sorry.
I like that, that's fine. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Cheers.
I'm going to get one of these.
And we are going to start with our lovely, lovely titters. Now, what have you been up to?
Well, I went out the other day and I went to the races on a Sunday. Now, there was 4 of us in the car. It was £20 to go into the centre of the race course, where you've got all your betting facilities, but it was geared up as a family day. So you'd got I'd say a little top rather than a big top, but there was a circus.
Okay.
They did 3 performances for the kids. The kids had got face painting, they'd got children's entertainer.
Did you get your face painted?
No, but I was tempted.
You wanted to, didn't you?
I was restrained from getting it. Like
I
you
can
do.
imagine you don't look looking like me if you got your face painted, wouldn't you? Oh dear.
Yeah, but it's sort of like there's that many race courses that are holding these family days, and even if you sort of like we got in as a bargain, 4 of us in for a £5 each, really.
Really?
It was £20 for the car. We took our picnic in with us.
Oh, so you could take food in?
Or you could take the food in. They check your boots, make sure that you're not going to be selling tons of alcohol to other people when you get there. Check your boots. So, you're taking what you could see.
Boots then.
No, the boots of the car.
I'll wake up in a minute, I will.
Yeah, to make sure we're not carrying contraband and things like that.
Did you have a bet?
Did I?
Did you?
Yeah, it was quite good really, because I bet on 8 races and it only cost me for 4. Because the winner on the 1 race covered the first 4
So
losses.
did you win any then?
I just had the 1 winner, which was a 3-1 winner. So
I don't know what all that means.
Right. If you put £1 on,
Yeah.
3-1, you get your £1 back. If it wins, you get your £1 back plus £3. Hence, you get £4 back.
That's what, it's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
Because you watched that guy, don't you, that was on Channel 4 and he was giving it
Oh,
all
the old Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
The old Tic Tac men.
Tic-tac-toe?
That's
No,
what you miss now,
tic-tac.
because it's all electronic and it's computerised and what have you.
changed, I'd say.
But if you actually walk around the place, I mean, it's like walking into the past. I mean, besides Ripon, Pontefract's one of my favourites. It's like walking back into the 1800s. Some of the buildings on the outside, the wall and the turnstiles, proper old clickety-click turnstiles. But once again, they're doing a lovely family day, and you see all the families out there, once again, taking in the picnics, getting in for next to nothing.
Yeah, quite clever really, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously the under 18s cannot bet. That's
but the
definitely
dads get to bet.
Yeah, and you can bet from, the minimum now is a £2 bet. So that's either a £2 win or £1 each way. Do you?
Do they go each way?
Oh, what?
Hey?
If they go that way or come back.
They've got to come back, haven't they? That's it, is that it? Is that right?
No, it's £1 for the win and £1 for the place. And the place is dependent on how many runners there are.
Right.
And I must say, only bet what you can afford to lose. Quite seriously, don't once the fun stops, you don't do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just thought I love it. But further to that, besides doing the family days, there's an awful lot of them do the music nights.
All right. What's these then?
This Friday, the 7th of June, at Haydock Park is one such event.
Right.
And Jess Glynn is performing after racing.
Jess Glynn? The Jess Glynn?
The Jess Glynn.
So they get big names like that then?
Yeah, I'm actually going in July.
Right.
To watch Rick Astley.
Yeah. One man
I've got
that's
my
guaranteed
ticket.
never going to give you up.
Yeah,
Hey?
so that's it. It was only, £38.50 for the ticket.
Yeah.
And that's your evening's racing with 6 race card, and then the live entertainment for about an hour and a half afterwards. And into the night. I mean, I like having a little flutter.
Yeah.
And I'm a £2 man, me. I don't sort of like go silly money.
You don't go daft with it.
No. So if you wanted to find out about them, if you just looked up music nights at the racecourse.
Yeah.
Madness were at Aintree the other week. The first one I went to was Simply Red in their final year when they were.
Yeah.
And I thought, I love this.
Yeah.
Seen Tom Jones.
Yeah.
Jessie J. You know, and I mean, for an old timer like me, sort of like Jessie J's a bit young and for my, but good night out.
Yeah, and you don't mind watching her either, do you, really?
No.
Shows looks good in the stage costumes. What are you doing for us next week?
I've no idea.
Oh, I do.
It's always
I do.
exciting.
You just get out and about and you go and figure
Go
what's
out and-
going on.
Yeah, I mean, something, you never know. 7 days is a long time, isn't it?
7 days is a long time, or a very short time, for you to find something for us to fully engross ourselves in.
Yeah, and me to get excited over
Well,
again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it for Michelle because she's not here. Ta-ta, titters! Well, if you do like to go on these days out, you can guarantee that you'll be wanting a bit of substance. Now, we set our Emily Fleishman the task of cooking some special food for us, vegan style, whatever that means. She's going to tell us. She's cooked us something very Italiano right now. Bit of spaghetti, vegan style, with a lovely, lovely sauce. Let's see how she made it as we head over to the kitchen of Emily Fleishman.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. This week we're going to be making my take on a vegan mushroom carbonara. Now, all you avid Italian fans out there know it's not got any egg in it, so don't shoot me at dawn, but it is a wonderful creamy dish to make just when you've got a little bit of time and want a creamy treat. Okay, so first we're going to prep our gorgeous portobello mushrooms. I've got these sliced up and we're going to make a really, really lovely unctuous marinade to get those tasting really, really meaty. So in a mixing bowl, we're going to put 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Make them quite generous tablespoons because that's going to make the base of your marinade. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, which I've already poured. And we're going to put 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar. And 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Give that a quick mix, and we're going to throw our gorgeous portobello mushrooms that are thinly sliced in there. Get them covered in marinade. And once they're nicely coated, we're going to place them onto a foil lined baking tray and pop them in the oven for about 20 minutes. And just before these actually go into the oven, you're going to pop 3 garlic cloves, which I've peeled, onto the baking tray, and in they go. So now it's time to make our creamy, cheesy sauce, and for this I'm going to be using the vegan cheese Violife. You can use any vegan cheese and they're available from all good supermarkets. You need about half of a block. I'm going to grate this up here. So the way we get this really creamy sauce in this pasta is we use soaked cashews. So I've just soaked these in boiling water for about an hour, but you can soak them overnight in cold water if you'd like. So I've just drained these soaked cashews. They're going into a NutriBullet, but you can use any high-speed blender. And in there, we're going to pop 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Now, nutritional yeast is what gives you that lovely cheesy flavour, but obviously keeping it completely vegan. With that, we're also going to use a carton of soy cream, again just adding that really creamy flavour and again keeping away from the dairy. In here, we're also going to add the secret ingredient. Now, this is a teaspoon of miso paste. I'm using white miso. This gives you the really umami flavour that you normally get from meat, but obviously we've got no meat in here, so we want to create that flavour. So you're going to put about a teaspoon into your mix, and then a really generous grind of pepper. Pop that to the side. Meanwhile, we've got on the hob a large pan with some salt and enough pasta for 2 people. I've gone with spaghetti because normally spaghetti is vegan, but obviously just double check your pasta if you want to keep it vegan. So you want to get your pasta onto a medium heat, let it boil, then turn it down and simmer for 10 minutes while your mushrooms are finishing off. So we've got a nice generous handful of parsley. We're going to finely chop this. This just gives a really nice extra flavour in the sauce, and it's also really pretty on top. It's been on for 10 minutes. I just always like to check that it's done. A few people have different ways of doing this. You can throw it at the wall. Personally, I just like to taste it. Perfect. Before we completely drain the pasta, you want to reserve a cup of pasta water. This is just to thin out your sauce later on. So we'll just pop that to one side. And then we can drain our pasta. So that's our mushrooms done. Look really golden. And now what you want to do is pop the garlic into your NutriBullet. So this is now going into our NutriBullet. And before we do that, we're just going to add a couple of tablespoons of soy milk just to loosen it off. And on it goes. Once that's all smooth, I always suggest you give it a quick taste, and then that way you can add more nutritional yeast, more pepper, or more salt if necessary. That tastes perfect. So back in our pan that we did the pasta in, we've drained the pasta now, set that to a side. We're going to put our creamy sauce. And we're just going to let that heat on a very low heat. So we're going to let that get a little bit warm through, and then we're going to add our grated cheese. And also half of our grated parsley. Tiny bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt to taste. Give that a stir. So as that's warming through, you're going to add a cup of frozen peas and your reserved pasta water from earlier. This is just going to loosen your sauce, so I would suggest you add it a little bit at a time so that you don't make your sauce too thin. So that's heating up nicely. We're just going to add our pasta. And then give it a good stir. I sometimes find it easier to use the tongs to mix it through. So once it's all mixed through, get it off the heat, and it's time to serve. Look how creamy. Top with a few of these beautiful meaty mushrooms. A handful of parsley. And a generous bit of black pepper. And there you have it. My creamy vegan mushroom carbonara. Enjoy.
World Gin Day.
It is.
Now, you don't do things by halves. It is World Gin Day.
It's World Gin Day. So World Gin Day was started a few years ago by a lady called Emma, who's known as Gin Monkey.
Gin Monkey.
And then last year, a group of us who were trying to get something started in Manchester just had the usual Manc response, which is, oh, we'll just do it ourselves. Mm-hmm. which is what we did.
Yeah.
And last year we had 26 bars involved, 26 venues who had discount cocktails, discount G&Ts, even food offerings for wristband holders. And we had a fabulous time. We had free gin tastings as well, which is amazing.
It's always good to taste gin for free.
And that never hurts.
And there's that many gins these days, isn't there?
So many, over 7,000.
Why has it become such a popular thing all of a sudden?
It started kind of 2009.
Uh-huh.
So up until that point, there was a law in place that had been there since the 18th century.
Really? What was the law?
The law was that you had to produce quite a large quantity of gin, and you had to pay a £50 tax. Which at that point, so we're talking the 18th century,
Was a
you
fortune.
scale it up to
Yeah.
now, it's about £200,000. That law stayed in place until Sip Smith went along to HMRC and basically said something along the lines of, we're seeing the craft beer industry change, we want to do the same with gin, but this law still sits there and we don't want to make thousands of litres of gin, we want to make our own special gin and bring craft into gin. It took them 2 years of negotiation.
Yeah.
But they got the law changed.
Wow.
And that opened the doors for everybody. So now we have so many new distilleries popping up.
And so many gorgeous flavours as
Oh,
well.
so much. The thing with gin is you start with juniper and a neutral-based spirit.
Yeah.
And then you can add whatever you like.
And they do.
They do. They really, really do.
There's some strange ones around, isn't there? What's the strangest one you've come across?
The strangest ones I've come across, there's one from France called Thompson's Gin,
Oh, yeah?
which has fresh peaches in it. But it also has caviar.
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 As in fish eggs?
As in fish eggs.
Yeah. I bet it tastes nice, though.
It's a decent gin. It just the caviar eggs kind of give it a bit of a salinity about it, so a bit of a saltiness about it, but it doesn't really add. It doesn't add any fishy flavour.
Just makes it sound posh, does it? Right.
It does, and it uses. The idea was that they used botanicals from the surrounding area, so it was very local to that part of France.
And what's the weirdest one you've tasted?
The weirdest one I've tasted anti-gin.
Okay, you'll have to explain that to me.
It has ants distilled into it. It's about £200 a bottle.
It's got ants in it.
It's got
Mind
ants
you,
in
they have
it.
worms in tequila.
This is true.
We can have ants in gin.
This is true. The ants just add, they have a particular acid that they produce called formic acid.
Right.
And that goes into the distillate and it gives it a particular flavour. It's fantastic. I'm not sure my budget has it in for 200 quid for a full bottle. Thankfully, a chap in Cheshire took pity on me and let me try some.
Well, that's it for this week's episode. We've got loads more coming your way next week. We've got special guest host Emily Fleischman joining us here with loads of our guests. Make sure you click on the clicker thing and subscribe on the subscribey thing to make sure everybody knows that you are watching Your Manchester.